This is a debate between Alex Jones and Destiny and some other people, Glenn Greenwald and stuff like that. It's about January 6th and how it wasn't really an insurrection, how Donald Trump is innocent and he's so good and he's just awesome, you know, and he should be the dictator or whatever. Anyway, I don't even know. These people are nuts. Let's listen to what they have to say in this debate. It's bound to be absolutely psychotic, as usual, as it usually is with Alex Jones, with anything that he's involved in. While we watch this debate, we're going to play some Breath of the Wild 2. Should just be in the background. If you've never played it before, it won't bother you too much. All right, let's listen to these people.
How about the guy the three men on the corner of 14th and Independence who had AR-15s? How about...
Oh, they use those?
They didn't use them.
Doesn't matter if they used them. There were, on January 6th, there were people standing right outside the city, like outside of city limits, waiting for an order from Joe Biggs or from Stuart Rhodes, the respective leaders within the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. They were waiting for orders to come into the city with their weapons, which I believe having those weapons are illegal. So they were standing right outside waiting for the order. They all had also buried weapons caches around in preparation for this. This was a full-blown, prepared coup attempt, an insurrection attempt.
What about the pipe bomb?
I asked you a question.
What about the pipe bomb? I don't know what this has to do with anything.
What's that?
Alex, I asked you a question if people had weapons. How about how many weapons were seized? Like,
hey, I got
75.
I got I'm arresting people.
What? Oh my God, dude, I'm gonna have so much censoring to do in this. What is he talking about? These people were affiliated, connected to the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, and were waiting outside the city limits to rush in with their weapons.
75 of the people arrested within the Capitol building had weapons.
Let's we have a couple of clips.
Knives and stuff.
Because knives aren't dangerous. You can stab somebody as much as you want, and they'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, knives aren't dangerous at all.
The knaves have weapons to disarm them immediately.
How about Guy Reffitt? What is he, 3%er or 3%?
Does he have nuclear weapons like Biden?
Yeah, the leader of the 3%ers were represented there also, I believe. Does he have nuclear weapons like Biden? Again, deflection, redirection. What does this have to do with anything? Biden doesn't have nuclear weapons, by the way. The United States has nuclear weapons.
He had a handgun on the stairs of the Capitol building.
He had a handgun.
As he was encouraging people to...
That's worse.
This guy is such a dishonest debater, it drives me up a wall. Why doesn't he just engage with the arguments given? You know why he doesn't? Because the facts aren't on his side. When the facts aren't on your side, you have to lie and obfuscate and use scumbag debate tactics to get around that fact.
The stairs of the Capitol building. As he was encouraging people to...
That's worse than Pearl Harbor.
As he was telling people to go into the Capitol, as he was saying he wants to drag Nancy Pelosi out of the Capitol and hopes her head hits every stair on the way out.
Did he say go into the Capitol like ramps?
Let me just finish my point before you cut me off. He wanted to drag Nancy Pelosi out and let her head hit every stair on the way out. He said,
and a guy pooped on Pelosi.
Finish, Alex.
So
Alex.
We don't blame.
Dude, Alex will not shut up. The entire time, that's all Alex has done. Interrupt.
Yeah, let Ed finish this point because we're going to go to Darren really quick.
He said on his way to the Capitol building that they're going to take the Capitol and insert their own government.
Yeah, so
and he had a handgun on the steps of the Capitol building.
Once again, Alex Jones is completely ignoring the moderator because the moderator isn't doing anything. And he's interrupting him again. He's not going to let him get his damn point out. Jesus, dude.
And insert their own government.
Yeah, so
and he had a handgun on the steps of the Capitol building.
Were there, and you call it like Martians invading and blowing the earth up. Like Glenn Greenwald said.
His intention wasn't an insurrection.
Yeah,
are you saying his intention wasn't an insurrection? He's saying he's going to drag Nancy Pelosi out. He's saying...
And he wasn't under Trump's command.
All right.
Trump didn't tell him. Trump said go peacefully.
Oh, my God, dude.
Alex, can I just finish and you can respond?
Yes, you can finish your point, and then we're going to go to Darren.
Can we use a mute button or something on Alex?
No, I'm not going to be run over.
So...
I'm not going to be run over, he says, as he's running over everybody else. Give me a break. This isn't running over. This is engaging with your points. My God, this dude is insufferable. I would never debate Alex Jones. Never. Under any circumstances. I don't want to debate anybody anyways, because I just think that debates are charisma contests. They don't actually accomplish anything at all, in my opinion. They're interesting to watch. I just don't think that they get you anywhere. But I would never debate Alex Jones because he is not an honest debater. He recognizes their charisma contest, and he's going to do everything he can to prevent you from showing any charisma because he doesn't have any himself.
He was on his way to the Capitol building saying, we're going to take the Capitol and install our own government. He had a handgun in his whole handgun on his
Alex.
Oh my God, shut up, Alex.
Our own government. He had a handgun in his whole handgun on his
Alex, let him finish.
On the stairs of the Capitol saying he's going to drag Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell out. But you don't have a problem with that. That's not.
He didn't use the gun.
What do you think, Darren?
Because he didn't use the gun because he didn't have the opportunity to shoot Nancy Pelosi or Mike Pence.
Did he?
That's okay. He didn't have.
I don't know who Darren is, or is he the dude on the far right next to Alex Jones? I'm not sure.
Access
I
to
didn't
them.
say it was okay.
Thankfully, the Capitol Police.
Thankfully,
the Capitol
What about the Q Shaman? What about the Q Shaman they let in?
The Capitol Police.
All right, okay.
Q Shaman was not let in by people. He actually busted a window to climb in, and I have video of it. And as a matter of fact, since he said that, now I have to show the video. Yeah, okay, here, just take a look at this. Guys show up with gloves, right? I'm going to turn it way down because the audio is irrelevant. Guys come in with gloves to bust windows in. And they walk around to the door, wait for them to open the door for them after they busted the window in. They open the door for them, and look who's right there walking in. Can you see him? Big obnoxious horns right in front of us here. Q Shaman was not allowed into the building, by police. He had to wait for somebody to bust a window in to get in. Alex Jones just lying. He's just flat out lying. Of course. Anybody expect differently? Usually, when these people say something absolutely absurd, they're not lying, straight up lying. Typically, I find there's a little bit of a grain of truth in it, and they're just twisting things completely out of proportion. This is a lie. He's just telling, he's spreading false information. Intentionally, I don't know. But it's false.
A guy had a gun. We martial law. All the Americans are guilty. You can't vote for Trump now. A guy had a gun.
I've been asked by Zero Hedge to moderate this debate, so that's what I'm going to do. Everyone, quiet down. We're going to Darren Beatty. Darren.
Finally. Jesus, dude.
What's happening?
What's the question here?
No, you've been hearing all
Is this a freaking coup? What do you think about what they've been saying as well?
I don't think it's a coup.
Yeah, he didn't have an opportunity to step in because Alex Jones been screaming the whole time. Dude hasn't even been paying attention. I can't blame him. Of course, he's on the right, so I have no reason to be charitable to him. But, I wouldn't be paying any attention to that either. It's just mindless, nonsensical garbage being spewed over and over and over again. The same nonsense by Alex Jones, constant.
A freaking coup. What do you think about what they've been saying as well?
I don't think it's a coup. I think question of an insurrection, you can go to the etymology of rising up. That could be anything.
Yeah, so he's going with the old strategy of, if we really dig into it, words can mean anything. I can say, like, this is a cult, but what really is a cult? Doesn't have a definition. A cult can be anything. Is a family a cult? Stretch it out of proportion until there's no meaning to words anymore at all. And then you can say, well, this wasn't an insurrection. Well, this isn't a cult. Just a joke, man. Jehovah's Witnesses always use the dictionary definition from 1993 of what a cult is. A small group of extreme followers who follow one charismatic leader. It's like, well, we're not small, and we don't follow one leader. That leader is God, and there are a lot of people that follow God, so that's how they claim that they're not a cult. Simple as that. Stretch words until they fit what you want them to fit.
Insurrection, you can go to the etymology of rising up. That could be anything. If we keep the proper perspective in mind, it doesn't elevate to anything resembling the Civil War, 9/11, or any of the crazy comparisons.
One guy with a gun.
Well, for the record, earlier in the debate previously, Alex Jones was asked, do you think that the Civil War was an insurrection? And he refused to even answer the question. It's a yes or no question. He couldn't do it. He just could not bring himself to give an opinion on it, other than all he did was just keep repeating the same nonsense over and over and over again. Oh, God.
Isn't as big as the Civil War?
No.
They didn't use the gun?
Darren, keep going.
So there's that. The scope, I think, matters, and that's what we're really getting at when we talk about insurrection. The courts are politically weaponized, so I wouldn't even rest the legitimacy on that question on the determinations of the courts, which we can see are running away with pretty wild and ridiculous theories. Weaponized court system. So there's that. And then, sure, there are random nut jobs who are around.
I feel like I got to rebut this. The court system is not being weaponized against Trump or his supporters. Absolute absurdity.
D.C. on that day and any other day. And so I don't think that's relevant to the ultimate question of whether it was a coup, whether it was an insurrection. And as I said before, the stuff about Trump and the legal theory behind his, multiple part plan, that could be an interesting discussion. It's technically outside the scope of the debate.
He's talking about like Trump's plan to send fake electors to the whatever it was. I don't even remember now. Anyways, yeah, that was 100% part of the coup attempt. Absolutely.
But again, I would reiterate, anyone who knows Trump, anyone who knows people who knows Trump, 100% certainty Trump genuinely believes that the election was stolen.
I don't believe that. And even if he does, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the election was stolen or not. He was attempting to subvert the will of, or he was trying to subvert the government. He's trying to step around the laws and break the laws in an attempt to stay in power. It's irrelevant. Anything else around that is irrelevant.
He had multiple legal advisors. Many of his advisors were trying to sabotage him from day one. Just because he was advised by one
Such a victim
of these snakes doesn't mean that he therefore agrees with what they say.
Trump didn't agree with the advisors that told him to try to stay in power by getting Mike Pence to not blah, 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 whatever it was. You're trying to tell me that Trump disagreed with his advisors or can't be blamed for listening to them? Really? This is shameless, dude. Do these people really believe this stuff?
He agreed with the people who told him it was stolen and that he had legal recourse to address that, which he implemented. So there's nothing that rises to an insurrection or coup about that either, even though that's outside of the scope of our discussion for today.
This is shameless, dude. This guy is twisting this so out of proportion. I don't even know what to do with it.
So Cassidy Hutchinson said that Trump said to Mark Meadows, "I don't want people to know we lost. It's embarrassing."
I'm glad.
For the record, Cassidy Hutchinson was, she's a Republican, a hard right Republican. She worked in the Trump White House. She's like right down the hall from Mark Meadows, chief of staff, and from Donald Trump. And I think that Cassidy Hutchinson was Mark Meadows' assistant or something. I don't remember. Anyways, Mark Meadows worked with and planned a lot of this with Donald Trump. So it's 100% reputable to believe that Trump would be laying out his plans to Mark Meadows. He did. We know that. So Cassidy Hutchinson says she heard Trump say this and this and this and that. And she said that under oath, by the way. A whole bunch of other people after the fact, like some Secret Service agents, came out and publicly denied what she said, but they didn't deny it under oath. If they want to be believed, they have to, get under oath and claim the opposite before anybody has any reason to believe them. I wouldn't even believe them then, probably. There's too much evidence, too many people contradicting their claims, but it's easy to say something when there are no repercussions for saying it.
said to Mark Meadows, I don't want people to know we lost. It's embarrassing.
I'm glad that you mentioned her because this gets to the televised sham that was
well,
these.
she was under oath. Who under oath for Trump said?
Well, she changed her story a bunch.
Yeah,
she was under oath.
Yeah,
she was under oath. So the thing here.
Okay, I don't know what they're talking about. She changed her story a bunch. I don't remember her changing her story. What are they talking about?
Under oath.
Listen. So the thing here is
why is the January 6th committee destroying the transcripts?
The January 6th committee.
I don't know what he's talking about. They're destroying transcripts. What? It was like filmed and the whole thing took place publicly in the open, televised on live TV. What are you talking about? Well, not live. Well, maybe it was live. I don't remember. Anyways, what are they talking about? They're like destroying transcripts. Is this yet another flat out, bald-faced lie?
Called near 9.
Step back here.
Somebody destroying the transcripts.
The January 6th committee called near 98% of their witnesses were Republicans.
It was kangaroo.
These people were under oath, Republicans, and they testified. The people who didn't testify within the Trump circle, there were dozens who Fifth Amendment. They refused to say a word.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Michael Flynn, for example. Hell, Alex Jones. Alex Jones was at the congressional hearings on January 6th and said Fifth Amendment over and over and over again. Oh, my God, dude.
Word. So you're going to tell me that the people that testified under oath are the liars, but the people that said things in the public but failed to say anything under oath are the ones that are telling the truth.
Let me say I wasn't just there on January 6th. I was in that congressional hearing and took the fifth 98 times.
Yeah, he did. Like he's saying this like he's proud of it or something.
And not because I had anything to hide.
Well, here's the thing about not because I have anything to hide. Pleading the fifth means that you are guilty of criminal action and you will incriminate yourself in that criminal action if you say anything about it. It was legally determined by the Supreme Court, I don't know, for years ago, that you cannot accept a pardon unless you admit guilt. You must admit guilt if you accept a pardon. And by definition, if you are not implicated in criminal action, you cannot use the Fifth Amendment. If you just don't want to incriminate somebody else, then you can't use the Fifth Amendment. If you swear an oath to tell the truth, you can only protect yourself from that. So the fact that Alex Jones pled the Fifth Amendment like so much should be all we need to know. He was guilty. He knows that he was guilty.
Fifth Amendment isn't just to incriminate yourself.
Yes, it is.
Because they wanted me in a perjury trap. They were to have witnesses claim something wasn't true. I think attacking the Capitol makes us win an election?
Yeah, witnesses against your...
No, of course you don't think it makes you win an election. You do, however, think that it'll keep Trump in office. Now, personally, I'm not sure if Alex Jones was like involved in the planning or not. I don't know. Maybe. Since he's not in jail right now, I'm going to assume that he probably wasn't involved in the planning. I'm not even sure. But either way, pleading the fifth means that he felt that he was guilty of something. And by the way, perjury trap. There's an easy way to avoid a perjury trap. Don't lie under oath. See how easy that is?
Their testimony versus you can't get you in perjury. They can't.
Oh, yeah. Just ask Roger Stone that question.
No, it doesn't happen that way.
Roger Stone was guilty. Roger Stone took documentation and stuff from Russian hackers. Guccifer 2.0, a Russian hacker, handed documents and I think Hillary's emails maybe over to Roger Stone. And he gave it to Donald Trump. Roger Stone was as guilty as they come.
How did perjury get Roger Stone that way?
Roger Stone wasn't involved with WikiLeaks. He worked here then. He couldn't get a hold of him. I knew he told the truth. He didn't tell anybody. I'm behind the wiki.
Oh, I guess this is happening at Alex Jones's thing at InfoWars. I wasn't sure.
Here then. He
Dude, I really like Alex Jones's set. It's really nice.
couldn't get a hold of him. I knew he told the truth. He didn't tell anybody I'm behind the WikiLeaks. They said Roger Stone ran WikiLeaks. He never even talked to Julian Assange.
Just say he ran WikiLeaks.
No, they freaking tried to put
He
him
is in communication. I think this is getting off topic.
Oh my
this
God,
is,
man.
this is off topic.
That's
okay.
Roger didn't lie to Congress.
Roger did lie to Congress. And all this stuff that Alex Jones is claiming, he's taking it an extra step to make it that much less believable. You know, Roger Stone didn't kill anybody. Roger Stone didn't plan an insurrection. Roger Stone did, however, I don't know what else he did, but he met with the leaders of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the 3 Percenters in a garage a few days before the January 6th stuff took place. Interesting. Wonder what he was doing in that garage. I wonder what he was saying to the Oath Keepers and stuff. There's a woman named Bianca Grazia, okay? Bianca Grazia. She ran for office as a Republican, of course, and she's a massive Trump supporter. Oh my God, she's crazy about Donald Trump. It's like, it's too far. She's a QAnoner and the whole 9 yards. This is her, if you're curious. This relates back to Roger Stone meeting people in a garage. Just bear with me for a second. Follow my train of logic, okay? Listen, you just check out who Bianca Grazia is here.
I've been doing what I'm doing, but now it's time to actually fight for Texas, okay?
By the way, she's the leader of Latinos for Trump.
And in my district, the Senate seat came open. It's Texas Senate District 11. It came open, and I'm really going to be up against the establishment and the RNC itself. But hey, I have conquered it already. It is mine. I'm claiming the victory, and I'm running on faith, family, and freedom. So my message is to all of those corrupt politicians that put us through what you've put us through in the last 2 years and plus, you will never come against our faith again. You will never go after the pastors. You will never silence our church. You will never come after our families. You will never shut down our businesses.
Anyway, she lost her election, which, you know, I, for one, I couldn't be happier about that. The reason I want to talk about Bianca Grazia for a second is because on January 5th, the night before the riot took place and the insurrection, this is Bianca Grazia with the leader of the Oath Keepers, the leader of the Proud Boys, and I think the 3 Percenters leader also, meeting in a parking garage together.
I want you to meet this attorney, Kelly. She's from Texas.
I want you to meet Kelly Sorrell, attorney for the Oath Keepers.
Nice to meet you. So is Henry.
And Stuart, pleasure. Pleasure.
This is Enrique Tarrio. He's the leader of the Proud Boys, and she's introducing him to Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers.
Hey, listen, do you need a vehicle to...
Hey, listen, do you need a vehicle?
No, we're gonna.
Do they know what you're driving?
Do they know what you're driving? They knew what they were about to do was really, really illegal. Otherwise, they wouldn't be planning to evade authorities like this. These people were not really in any legal trouble at all. Well, Enrique Tarrio might have actually been banned from Washington, D.C. for that moment. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure. I don't know for sure. But they knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew. And they did it anyway.
Do they know what you're driving?
It doesn't matter. I'm sure that even if they were to come by right now, I'm on my way out. So I literally just picked up my bags.
So I thought
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on your way out. If you're not supposed to be somewhere, then you're going to face repercussions for that.
they told you 24
They didn't
hours.
give me the 24.
So anyway, the point is that these people met in a parking garage only the night before. Alex Jones and all these other people are pretending that there was no planned coup attempt.
This is off topic. That's okay.
Roger didn't lie to Congress
don't
when he said, I don't know I have not interviewed Assange.
Let's pull back to Darren. I wanted to.
Like, I don't know if he interviewed Assange or not. I have no clue if he interviewed him or not. But he absolutely got information from Russian hackers and stuff like that.
Darren's going to finish off what you were saying about this, and I think, Glenn, you were going to mention something after that. And then I have a couple of clips that we're going to play, but Darren.
Yeah, I mean, the January 6th hearings were a show trial of the sort that would make Kim Jong-il blush.
Oh, give me a break.
Explain it to them. They wouldn't let Republicans that they wanted under the law on the committee.
They wanted Jim Jordan, who was actually part
You're not allowed
of the
to have
investigation.
on.
Well, I think Kevin McCarthy was in charge of deciding who was going to be on the January 6th committee, and it was shortly after January 6th. So I could be wrong here. Don't quote me. I think McCarthy decided to cooperate with Democrats a little bit, and he kind of, out of righteous indignation, refused to take part in this show trial and allowed Democrats to put whoever they wanted on, which included Republicans. It needed to include Republicans. It was important that Republicans were the ones doing a lot of the arguing and stuff. So, anyways, these people are just completely full of shit and are, honestly, they're propagandists to a degree that would make Kim Jong-il blush. Seriously.
Side, we pick who the people are on our jury.
Jim Jordan was being investigated by the committee. They wanted a person on the committee who was being investigated by the committee. How does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, when you're being investigated by the Democrats, you don't have a vote.
I think a lot of people watching don't understand. Hey, guys.
Jim Jordan was elected.
Oh my God, he's obnoxious. He's going to start screaming even louder now. God, dude. Alex Jones drives me insane.
Does that matter?
The people that are listening don't have the context, so if we start rapid fire argumentation, a lot of people are going to lose interest. We need to stay focused and listen to each other. It's really...
That's literally all they've been doing the entire time. Rapid fire, false claim after false claim after false claim.
Important.
Staying focused makes it really hard for them to win their case.
It is really hard.
Win their case when they have to stay focused.
It's very hard, but
with any of their views of reality.
I love that. It's really hard for them to win their case when they have to stay focused.
It is possible.
Well, I'm going to go take a piss, and I'll let you tell people fairy tales.
But what's happening is Darren is going to continue what you were saying about finishing up your thought, and then we're going to Glenn Greenwald.
Yeah, well, the thought was just about this Hutchinson, and she said a lot of things. I believe she was the one who said that Trump reached over to the steering wheel and...
She did say that. Yes, she said that. Under oath. Absolutely.
You know, told the Secret Service this or that, which was a bizarre thing because the Secret Service agents in question weren't the ones that were called upon to testify under oath.
Some of them testified the same thing that Cassidy Hutchinson said.
No, the Secret Service actually said we would love to testify and they weren't allowed to.
Bullshit. This is, again, straight up lie. These people are lying. Like earlier when they claimed the QAnon Shaman was just let in by police. No, he wasn't. He was let in by some nutcase who broke a window and walked around to unlock the door. I watched it happen.
The two Secret Service agents in question in that specific anecdote were not allowed to testify. So why would they?
Yeah, I don't know about those two specific people. I doubt everything that he said. He just backed off of a lie just now. He said the Secret Service agents weren't allowed to testify. And then the guy said, yes, they were. And he said, well, those two specific ones weren't. Everything he says is bullshit. Everything.
Take the secondhand report from Hutchinson when they could have interrogated directly the people who would have been direct witnesses to that.
Yeah,
they're in
not those two specific agents, but why not?
Other agents in the car with Trump testified for the J6 committee. I don't know why they would or wouldn't testify or have particular people testify, but other people in that car did.
No.
Yes. Other people that were in the car with Donald Trump testified to what Asa Hutchinson. No, I'm sorry. To what's her name? Oh my God, I'm suddenly forgetting her name. To what the woman said.
Two people.
Yeah, Glenn.
The January 6th committee, and it's what Alex was alluding to just a second ago, is one of the biggest shams in the history of Congress, because what happened with the January 6th committee was we had a long history of 225 years of tradition in the United States Congress where whenever investigative commissions would be created within the Congress, the minority leader and the majority leader would each select the members of that committee to ensure there was fair representation.
They did. Kevin McCarthy took part in the selection process. He absolutely did. In fact, I could be wrong, but Republicans did not have a majority at the time, I don't think. But Kevin McCarthy absolutely did take part, and he was the majority leader at the time. I remember this whole discussion. I remember Kevin McCarthy's thoughts on it and everything that he said, blah, blah, blah. I remember all of it. These people, do they believe this? They can't, right? I don't think that Glenn Greenwald or Alex Jones believe the things that they're saying right now about January 6th. I don't think they believe this. I think they're running cover for Donald Trump and for themselves since Alex Jones was there. I don't know. These people are about as low as it gets, if that is the case. You know, even if that's not the case, these people are about as low as it gets anyway. They're flat out lying, and they know they're lying about some of it at the very least. I don't know if they really believe that, like, Trump is innocent of all wrongdoing or whatever. That's what the whole debate's about. I don't know. I do know that they have at least lied about the QAnon Shaman and about Ashley Babbitt being beaten and all the other junk.
By both parties. Nancy Pelosi, for the first time in the history of the United States, as Speaker of the House, refused to allow the Republicans who were chosen for that committee by Kevin McCarthy, at the time the Republican minority leader, to be seated on the panel. And
again, this is just a lie. Yeah, there was like veto power. There was a negotiation for who was going to be on the panel. Kevin McCarthy allowed certain Republicans to testify, and so did Nancy Pelosi. The more Republicans involved in it, the better. Because it needed to be seen that it wasn't a Democratic witch hunt. 98 or something percent of the people giving testimonies were Republicans. All of that was important. It wasn't packed with Democrats.
As a result, the Republicans said, we're going to have nothing to do with this. And the only quote-unquote Republicans that were chosen was Liz Cheney, who ended up losing her seat by 36 points.
I don't know what that has to do with her position as a Republican. Her dad was Dick Cheney. You think that she's not like a diehard, true-believing Republican?
And Adam Kinzinger, who didn't bother running again because they were so unrepresentative of the Republican Party. It was a completely partisan commission. And
it wasn't partisan. They were out of step with what Trump turned the Republican Party into, which is an extremist organization.
On top of that, none of the videotapes that were available was made available to the public except for very deceitfully chosen snippets by Adam Schiff and by Liz Cheney. And it was only within the last several months that we saw.
Okay, those videos were withheld for safety reasons because people aren't supposed to know about certain areas of the Capitol building. I took a tour of the Capitol once, and they said you can take pictures anywhere except for a couple of specific places. You're going to have to put your cameras down, and I'll let you know when we get there. And we got there, and he said, you cannot take pictures in that direction because that direction has certain doors that lead to certain areas and stuff like that. It was for security reasons because, as we found out, there are tunnels and walkways and secret entrances and exits in the Capitol building that are there to protect congressmen who might be under attack. So obviously, some of the footage was not supposed to be released because it showed some of those areas.
All of the video footage, and what it showed makes a joke of the idea that this was a coup. You had people peacefully walking into the Capitol, led by many of the police officers who encouraged them to enter peacefully, which they did. The vast majority of people who were there at January 6th aren't even charged with using violence, and that's what makes this whole debate such a preposterous joke.
It doesn't matter. The goal was to distract and to strike fear in their hearts, and they accomplished that gloriously. Doesn't matter if there's violence or not. Why is he even bringing up violence? There are different types of coups, different types of insurrections. There's a military coup, there's a political coup, a legal coup. There are a ton of different types. And you can't convince me that Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist broke the story on on PRISM, the PRISM program with Edward Snowden. You can't convince me he doesn't know this already. You cannot convince me of that. Anyway, tell me what you think about this in the comments. These people are absurd. I think that they know what they're saying and doing. I don't think they believe the vast majority of it. I think they're aware of the fact that they are lying, personally. But I guess we'll never know because they're just never going to tell the truth about it, right? Let me know what you think about it in the comments. These people are absurd.